Local Justice, presented by Elrod Pope Law Firm, serving our community since 1980. Here's your host, Attorney Ben Leader.
Welcome back to Local Justice. On this show, we spend a lot of time talking about justice and the community and the people working every single day to strengthen both here in Rock Hill. Today, I'm honored to be joined by someone who has dedicated more than 2 decades to serving our community and helping bridge the gap and build stronger relationships between law enforcement and the citizens they serve. Captain Rod Stinson has served with the Rock Hill Police Department for more than 26 years, and he currently leads the department's Community Engagement Division. In that role, he focuses on building trust within the community, mentoring young people, and creating meaningful opportunities for connection and outreach throughout Rock Hill. Captain Stinson, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, to start out, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, what your background was like, and where you grew up.
All right. So I'm from Lancaster, South Carolina, born and raised, attended Beaufort High School. There, played a lot of sports and things like that. And coming out of high school, I went to University of South Carolina and started out University of South Carolina in Lancaster, transferred to USC in Columbia, and got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. While in school there, I worked for the University of South Carolina Police Department, and then got hired on Rock Hill PD right after college, and been here ever since.
Well, it sounds like you were a man on the mission. You knew at an early age criminal justice was, the path you wanted to pursue. What led to that decision?
So in high school, I was part of our junior ROTC, and so I was a commander for that, and I got the opportunity to go to a cadet police academy in high school down in Columbia. And I knew I wanted to go in law enforcement, but I really wanted to go to the military, really wanted to fly. I don't know why I was fascinated with AH-64 Apache helicopters, and I really wanted to fly those. And so at one of our drill meets, because I was on the drill team, I got the opportunity to sit in one of those helicopters, and all excited, this is what I want to fly. And sat down in the cockpit, and the guy's like, "You want to fly one of these?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're too tall." I was already 6'2" in high school. You can only be 6 feet to fly the helicopter. So kind of crushed my dreams a little bit, but I followed that criminal justice path and went on from there.
That's great. So ROTC was really kind of the ignition for you that got you used to that structure and that environment.
Yes.
You mentioned you played sports in high school. I got to ask, what was your favorite sport and position? I'm going to guess linebacker maybe?
Nope. Football, I was a left tackle.
Okay, left tackle.
Offense
all right.
and defense, and played basketball.
Okay, good. And so straight from South Carolina to Rock Hill Police Department, and you've been with the department 26 years now, is that right?
That is correct.
All right, well tell us where your time started at the police department, what role you were in, and kind of how your path has developed over those 26 years.
Well, like all officers, I started on the patrol division, working what we call a zone or a side of town. A couple of years later, I became a field training officer, training new officers. From there, I believe I went into the traffic unit, worked the traffic unit for a few years, just focused strictly on traffic enforcement. And then I think by 2004, I became a patrol sergeant, being a supervisor on patrol. And then in 2008, 2009, became a lieutenant in our community services division at the time. And that was over school resource officers, all the community events, our Worthy Boys and Girls Camp. And so stayed there until 2013, promoted to captain, and I was a captain over the patrol division from 2013 to 2022. And it was at that time Chief Watts came to me and asked me about building this new division, the Community Engagement Division. And so since 2022, been working on that.
That's great. And tell the viewers a little bit about the role itself. I think, is there 5 different departments under the chief, and community engagement's one of those?
That's right, 5 divisions, community engagement is one of those. And like I said, we've always done community service here in Rock Hill, with the Rock Hill Police Department. Most people are familiar with the Worthy Boys and Girls Camp. Sure. Us doing National Night Out, those type of things. But in community engagement, wanted to take things a little bit further, beyond just going to events. Doing things that really help us build relationships with the community, with our youth. If you remember in April 2022, I believe it was, we had a pretty horrific incident, some juveniles, shooting incident. Some juveniles were killed in that incident. And so we looked at that and tried to find ways that we could intervene a little bit more, mentor a little bit more, work with the community a little bit more. And so when we started the Community Engagement Division, we focused on teen violence, focused on building a cadet program, police cadet program, which I can elaborate a little bit more on. And then also doing more with our events. You know, when I look at community events now, it's more than just showing up for an event.
Sure.
But how can we really engage more and build those relationships with the community we serve?
Absolutely, and it really feels like trust is the central component that
Yes.
you're trying to build between the law enforcement and the community. And if somebody's first interaction with a particular officer is in a community setting where somebody's comfortable and everybody's, you know, on the same page, that probably leads to much better, you know, results down the road if they happen to be on the other side of a traffic stop or something like that. Is that fair?
That is fair, and one of the things that we do, you talked about traffic stops, is we make sure that when we go to neighborhood meetings or if we go to do any kind of presentation, we include that in how to interact with a police officer on a traffic stop. You know, it's not the place to argue a traffic stop. If you disagree, that's what court is for. But on our end of it too, making sure that when we make traffic stops, you know, we're explaining who we are. You know, I'm Captain Rod Stinson, Rock Hill Police Department. The reason I stopped you is for A, B, and C. You know, kind of break that ice and have a conversation if we have to on the side of the road to explain why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I think that educational piece is critical, and there's a lot of bad advice out there on social media, and you know, you can pull up TikToks and, you know, people that aren't attorneys trying to advise people on what to do with traffic stops that really creates more friction than anything else. So I love to hear that y'all are doing that and being proactive about it. We're going to take a quick break from the station sponsors. When we get back, I want to dive right back into the cadet program because I know that's something you're particularly passionate about. And so thank you again for your time, and thank you to the viewers for tuning in to another episode of Local Justice. We'll be right back with more with Captain Stinson here shortly. Thank you. After a car accident, everything feels overwhelming. Your injuries, your job, the insurance companies contacting you before you even understand what happened. And you deserve someone who knows how to navigate these situations. A law firm who has handled thousands of injury cases across our region. Elrod Pope has been helping injured people for more than 45 years. If you have been hurt, call Elrod Pope. We will help you get back on your feet.
Reliable Healthcare is a trusted home healthcare provider. They offer services to seniors and people with disabilities. Reliable Healthcare is a non-medical agency that helps with everything from personal care assistance, housekeeping, childcare, dementia, companionship, and end of life. Reliable Healthcare provides personalized care that enables clients to maintain independence and quality of life and the security of their own homes. Reliable Healthcare, where every individual deserves to be treated with the utmost respect and compassion. Visit them on the web or on Hurlong Avenue in Rock Hill.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Being there for someone in their time of need is what Green Funeral Home has done compassionately for 4 generations. It's a privilege we take very seriously.
We believe each life should be honored and remembered by family and friends. Whether you choose traditional burial in our chapel or another venue, or cremation provided by our on-site crematory, we will help guide you through each step to ensure your needs are met.
We are also available to discuss pre-planning. Peace of mind that you have helped your loved one by making those difficult decisions.
When the need arises, our family is here for your family.
Welcome back to Local Justice. I'm attorney Ben Leader with the Elrod Pope Law Firm, and today I'm honored to be joined with us by a special guest who spent 26 years with the Rock Hill Police Department, Captain Rod Stinson. Captain, thank you so much for being with us.
Sir.
I want to jump right back into the Police Cadet Program. Tell us a little bit about the program and what it is and how it works.
Okay, so again, in 2022, we were looking at building a Police Cadet Program, but we wanted to build something that was different than what we've seen across the country, what other agencies are doing. So started doing some research, looked out west, up north, everywhere I could look to look at cadet programs. Could not really find exactly what we were looking for. So took a piece from here, a piece from there, and just kind of made it our own. our own Police Cadet Program. And so what we're focused on are young people ages 16 to 20 that are interested in law enforcement. And when I say interested, not necessarily wanting to go into law enforcement, be a police officer, but just have an interest in law enforcement. Take those young people, and we put together a curriculum, a 9-month curriculum, where we bring them in, we do an interview. So it's not like you just sign up and come in and be a cadet. We want to put them through an interview process so they understand what it means to go and interview for a job. And go and interview for a job like this. And so we put them through an interview process, make our selections, and then, like I said, it's a 9-month course. So we have a laid out curriculum where they learn legals, they learn a lot of the things that we do, hands-on, and it just teaches them more about police officers, what we do, the job we do, why we do the job we do, and give them a better understanding. And the first class we had in 2023, we had 5 people in the class. And so, great class. I can remember one young lady in that class, she came in her interview and she's like, hey, are you interviewing me or are you asking me about my family? And we're like, no, we're just interviewing you. And she told us throughout the year, she said, I came into this program and I had a perspective about police officers. And by the end of the program, she had a total different perspective and respect for law enforcement. She's now actually in college, studying law. Wow. And so we look at those as successes because we want the program to be a program where we're mentoring young people. Again, they don't have to go into law enforcement. We would like for them to come and work for Rock Hill PD, but if they choose not to, we want to know we had an impact on them. And so that same young lady, she stays in touch with us. She actually wrote us last year. She did a whole paper at her school to talk about this program. Wow. And so those are the impacts that we want to have.
That's great. And the hope is that they do want to come back and join the team here, but even if not, it sounds like you're building those relationships and you may be changing some of the misconceptions or perceptions people may have about law enforcement at a young age. And I mean, that's the heart of your role is really that building trust and that lasts for life after they've gone through a program like that. That's fantastic. So how does it work for any viewers that may have children in that age range or any young children out there, watching? How would they go about applying for that?
So right now we're finishing up a session. This is session 3. We're finishing it up. They will be graduating hopefully here in June. We just got back from Washington, D.C. with them, so we take them on an annual trip to Washington to Police Memorial Week. Oh, that's great. So they can see the Police Memorial Wall, understand those sacrifices that police officers make. But also we take them around the Capitol visits, things like that, to see history of the country. This past year we took them to Baltimore, Maryland, to Fort McHenry, so they understood the birthplace of the national anthem.
That's fantastic.
And so anyway, they're getting ready to graduate, so we'll start the process over again. Applications will be available. Actually, they're available now. If you follow our website, rhpdrecruit.com, on there you can get an application. Fill out for a young person, again, 16 to 20. So we get a lot of York Tech students. We get Rock Hill High, Northwestern, South Point students. All the students around York County, really, that apply. We usually get about 10 to 12 that we accept because of our staffing and how we can manage it. But once we get them in and start up in August, we're rolling again for the next year.
That's great. Well, I love that y'all are investing back in the youth that way. And I know it's a lot of work to put together a curriculum that long and, find all these ways to involve them and not just the busy work side of things. Right. And y'all do it the right way. So that's a great program and strongly encourage anyone out there to consider applying. One of the things I appreciate a lot about the Rock Hill Police Department, and I know you and your role take advantage of this, is collaborating with other agencies all over the country, all over the state that are doing things the right way and on the forefront of innovation and, like you said, taking bits and pieces from here or there to better what y'all are doing here in Rock Hill. Tell us a little bit about how critical that's been to kind of the growth of the department and, the success in your role as being able to collaborate with other agencies with similar problems.
Yeah, it's been very critical. Again, we have to reach out to other agencies, other cities to find out. Again, everybody's dealing with the same issues. And so we find out what people are doing, what's working, what's not working. And we try to use those things to help tailor what we're doing and what fits Rock Hill and what we have here. And so attending trainings, I'll be going to a training tomorrow in Dallas. It's a national training I attend every year where we get to meet officers from all these other agencies across the country, all 50 states represented. And we talk and we collaborate and talk about how to address issues, how to quantify community engagement to show how it helps bring down crime. So we're looking at those things. And so this year, back in April, we hosted the inaugural community engagement training here in Rock Hill at the Sports and Event Center. It was the first one in the state, and no other training like this has occurred in the state, just focused on community engagement. So to get all these agencies from across our state to come to Rock Hill, along with representation from 6 other states, was pretty awesome. And to sit there for 2 days and just listen and collaborate, learn from each other, people learning from us, learning about the cadet program, learning about different things that we're doing here, was, I think, very beneficial for everybody.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic. I mean, I love hearing that. Y'all aren't just checking the box with community engagement. You're literally leading the bar and setting the standard. And, other agencies from all over the state and outside the state, came to Rock Hill. You got to show off our great sports complex and event center. It sounds like a win-win for everybody involved. So that's great work y'all are doing, and love hearing that y'all are on the forefront of the community engagement piece. Yes.
And so I'm going to add to that too, just going back to teen violence, we're still looking at ways. We started a program, TEAM, T-E-A-M, Teen Engagement, Accountability, and Mentoring. So we're working with Family Court, South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice, looking at ways to, again, engage teenagers that may have committed a crime or may be on the brink of going down that road, and trying to bring them in too as well. We're working with local organizations, fraternities, to do a gun forum again this year, like we did the previous 2 years, and that should be coming up in August, I believe. We're in the planning phases right now to bring youth together, talk about gun violence, bring in some speakers to talk to them and mentor them a little bit more, help them understand what the new gun laws are. Yeah. Help parents understand gun safety, locking up your weapons, putting your weapons up. Anything that we can do to help curb or eliminate some of our activity with gun violence.
That's right. Well, that's great. I know you've seen some tragic moments over the course of your career, especially a few years ago, involving gun violence. And so I love hearing that, y'all are so proactive about that, and, doing everything you can to get the word out before, another tragedy occurs. So thank you for your role in that. And we're going to take another quick break from our sponsors, and we'll come back with our final segment here again soon. So thank you to the viewers for tuning in to Local Justice. We'll be right back with more from Captain Stinson here shortly. I wish everyone came with a warning label, because if you could predict a car accident, you would probably stay home that day. But accidents are never planned, and the moments after are confusing. You don't need a warning label. You need a law firm who knows how to handle this. A law firm who has helped people in South Carolina through injury cases for decades. If you've been hurt, call Elrod Pope. We'll help you understand your options and get moving in the right direction.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
When a catastrophe hits, it can be a very stressful time for you. When you have trees on your house, when you have trees on your cars, and you don't know what to do, you call us.
We're not a 1-800 number, we're an 803 number. We've been in business for over 60 years because we take care of our clients. That means taking care of them during claim situations.
We're not 9 to 5, we're 24/7. We're gonna be there when you need us most. Gill Insurance, your local auto owner's agent. Understanding business is how we do business.
Nesting season is here again, and overworked bird moms can always use a hand. There's plenty to do, from building a nest and laying eggs to raising their young ones. You can help the whole family by providing bird foods rich in calcium, protein, and fat, such as our Super Suets, Bark Butter Bits, or Nesting Super Blend. And provide a safe place to nest with one of our ready-to-use Eco-Tough nesting boxes. Shop Wild Birds Unlimited for everything you'll need to invite nesting birds to raise a family in your backyard.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the oh, I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things, for your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
Hi, I'm John Warden with Champion Services. If you're considering remodeling or making repairs to your home due to storm damage, here's a few things to ponder. A lot of folks have come in town promising a lot of things about we've been here for a long period of time, only to be found faults. Choosing the right contractor is extremely important. Here at Champion Services, our goal is one thing, it's customer satisfaction. And that's just not a sentence, that's a fact. Let me say it's been a joy to serve you for over 30 years. This message is brought to you by Champion Services and CN2.
Welcome back to Local Justice. I'm Ben Leader with Elrod Pope Law Firm, and today I'm honored to have with us Captain Rod Stinson from the Rock Hill Police Department. Captain, thank you again for joining us. Really appreciate your insights today. We were just chatting about, the collaboration y'all have with agencies similar to yours all over the state and all over the country that's allowed y'all to improve what you're doing and kind of be on the forefront. Y'all have also got a lot of relationships with local nonprofits, local causes that also help address local issues. And one of those issues is homelessness that's constantly talked about, and I know is a concern that's on the forefront of your radar. Tell us a little bit about, how that falls kind of under or interplays with your role here and how that what y'all are doing to go about addressing the homeless problem head on here in Rock Hill.
Okay, so quality of life is big, and it's something that we have to look out for everyone, right? Good quality of life for everyone. We do have those experiencing homelessness here in Rock Hill, just like across the country. And so here we work with partners such as, different organizations, Pathways, different organizations to help those who are in need, those who are looking for help and need assistance. And so from the police department standpoint and the community engagement standpoint, we're out often, pretty much every day, different parts of the city, going out and finding out who people are, where they're from, how they get here, and ways we can help them. And that's kind of a line of question I always use when I go out. Who are you, where are you from, how did you get here, tell me a little bit about your situation, and how can we help? It really gives me some insight into the person and what resources we can direct them to. And so when we go out, whether it's to a camp that we might find or just someone on the street, we ask those questions and try to push them to those resources. There are those who want the help, who will go get the help. But unfortunately, there are those who are comfortable in their space, don't want help. And those individuals, sometimes we have to focus on a little bit more because, again, we still have to look out for quality of life for all residents, all businesses in Rock Hill. And so we have to deal with things like trespassing, other property crimes, shoplifting, things like that. But again, even in those times, we're asking the questions like, what is it that you need to get out of your situation? How can we help? And so that's kind of a daily thing that we're doing, not just in community engagement, but across the department.
Sure. And, I think a lot of people may not realize that it's not a crime in and of itself to be homeless. There may be other crimes associated with conduct, but, there's nothing often that you can do to force somebody, legally out of homelessness. Is that fair?
That is a fair statement. It is not illegal to be homeless, but again, like you said, crimes and things that occur, sometimes we still have to enforce, those things. But ultimately, we would like to see people go and take advantage of whatever assistance they need. And so we work with different organizations, again, Catawba Area Coalition for the Homeless, Pathways, different organizations to hand out information to guide those folks to the necessary resources that they could use. That's right. And sometimes the justice process in and of itself is what ultimately kind of leads to, getting them help in a lot of ways. It does. And you mentioned earlier, one of the questions being, how you ended up here, how you got here. And something I recently learned was that, a lot of times they didn't really choose to end up in Rock Hill, but they may have actually been dropped off here, in a large group of other homeless people. And that actually takes place more than people realize. Can you touch on that a little bit? Yeah, often we'll get people that come from other facilities, maybe across the state, some that may have caught a bus ride from up north, found their way to Charlotte, and eventually found their way to Rock Hill. And so that is why we ask those questions like, who are you, how did you get here? Because we want to find out how you got here. And I like to find out, do they have family? Where are your relatives located? And try to make contact with relatives. Can we get them back home? Right. Sometimes we have success with that. Oftentimes we don't. And people are here. And so since they are here, we try to get them to some resources to maybe if they tell me, hey, I need to just find me a job or I need an ID so that I can look for work. We get them connected with those resources.
Well, I appreciate that you still guide them towards resources and that despite how they ended up here, you know, we're still willing to try to help them as a community here. We're not going to just drop them off at the next, you know, bus stop down the road. We want to, you know, get them on the right track. So I know that's a big problem and one that's not easy to deal with and is constantly requires kind of monitoring and pivoting on a day-to-day basis.
It does. Again, it just requires something that we can't handle on our own. The police department it requires those relationships that we have with other organizations working together to try to tackle the issue.
That's right. And, you know, we talked a lot about trust and relationships. And I mean, that really is the core of what you do is building those relationships. And just talk to us a little bit about, you know, how critical that community law enforcement trust and that bond is, you know, to have a successful agency and to have a safe community.
It is very critical. You know, I like to use this saying as a saying that trust is gained in drops, but it's lost in buckets. And so we understand that, you know, we're constantly out here every day trying to gain those drops of trust because we know that any day that bucket can be tipped over and trust is lost. And so the more we're out here building those relationships, more people understand who we are. You know, yeah, we wear this uniform every day, but we're still human. We understand certain things, but we still have a job to do as well. And getting people to understand that, you know, we still have a job to do to protect everyone, to protect that quality of life we talked about, and to keep our community safe, but also a great place for the people that live here, work here, come here and play. We want to make sure that it's good quality of life for everyone.
Well, I'm impressed by the job you're doing, by the, you know, despite the rapid growth Rock Hill has seen from kind of a small town to the booming city it is today. You know, y'all have continued to somehow build trust along that journey, and it feels to me like trust is as high as it's been despite the environment probably being as difficult as it's ever been to build and gain that trust. So clearly y'all are doing a great job and appreciate y'all setting the standard that, you know, other agencies look to for having that community engagement. So thank you for your role in that and your 26 years and various roles, you know, helping keep our community safe. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on, and we appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And to the viewers out there, thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Local Justice. Special thanks to Captain Rod Stinson for joining us today. We'll see you next time. Hope everyone stays safe out there. So when a client first comes into our office, they're dealing with very painful injuries. They're trying to provide for their families at the same time. You can just see the sense of anxiety, the grief, the worry on their face as soon as they walk in the door. One of the first things we do is we try to alleviate that concern and take that weight off their shoulder and put it on our plate. We see people immediately leave here from the first consultation. I can already see a sense of relief because they know that they've got a team helping them now and it's no longer just their problem.
Brown's Roofing began in 1989 with just a truck, a trailer, and a mission to do things the right way. What started as one man hand-nailing shingles has grown into a trusted name across South Carolina and North Carolina. At Brown's Roofing, we believe in honest work, fair pricing, and a quality that lasts. If we wouldn't allow it on our mother's home, we won't allow it on yours. With Brown's Roofing, you're not just getting a roof, you're getting our word.
We know the type. You like to start early, finish late, make lemon squares, and make payments to the college fund from anywhere in the house. We know you rely on Comporium for the things you rely on most, like a view of the backyard. That's just a bunny, and hundreds of channels to watch, whenever you want. So you may think of us as just your internet company, but we're more like the I didn't know they could do all that company. Comporium, always ready.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the oh, I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.